Exodus right now, we're in this section of all these laws, and one of the things that's difficult is how do you make sense out of every individual case study. You know, if this happens, this is what you do. Well, when you're reading through all of these laws in Exodus, like chapters 21, 22, 23, and so forth, as you're going through and you see the individual laws, just think about whether these laws are freeing or whether they're restricting. And the illustration maybe that's best, and maybe this is a way to help you think through the entire section of Exodus laws. We'll face it again with Leviticus laws, Numbers laws, is just to think about the fact that these laws are given by God to help us be free rather than to feel restricted. So one of the, to me, one of the better illustrations is if a fish decides, I want to be free, therefore I want to live on the land, what's actually going to happen to their freedom, to the fish's freedom? And the answer, of course, is in an attempt to be free, to leave the environment in which it was created for, the fish actually now can't function. Actually, the fish will die. In other words, if you take a fish out of water, place it on the cement or on the pavement or the macadam or asphalt or whatever you do, and you leave it, especially on a hot day, all the mechanisms that make the fish function in water can't happen. And so we often think of freedom as being as taking off all restraints. And yet, all of these laws that you're reading about in the Exodus are it's God's way to keep us free. Put the fish back in water, and now the gills function like they're designed to function, the fins function the way they're designed to function, the shape of the fish, everything works perfectly, and the fish actually is free to live in the water, right? So it's an interesting way to think about these laws. When you're reading all of these laws, you know, do this, don't do this, you know, God is really saying, I built you a certain way. If you live with these laws, within these laws, if you live according to these laws, you are actually free to live the life I've created you to live. If you violate those laws, now you're not as free as you thought you were. And so that may be one illustration that might help you understand, you know, how do I deal with all this list of laws in Exodus, Leviticus, and so forth. They are actually freeing us up to live the life God created us to live.